All right, we'll go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and show you MailChimp today because I've had a couple people asking about email marketing and the ability to do that to all of their clients. Now, there are multiple different types of email programs, MailChimp being one of dozens. Constant Contact is another one that we use in-house. Now, you guys are welcome to use whatever you like. This is something I've used before. This is something that I know. So it's easier for me to kind of explain to you how to use it. But most email programs are going to work relatively the same. So I'm going to log in here and show you. Really. Sorry, give me a minute. Everyone wants to verify who I am. All right. The reason you'll see a lot of websites do that, they just want to verify who you are, especially if you're logging in from somewhere different. Nothing to be afraid of. All right. So this is MailChimp's dashboard. Again, relatively easy. You can see here at the top, I've got recent campaigns. If I had sent out a weekly or a monthly email newsletter, that would be listed here. If I had sent out new property updates, you would see that listed here. And then you can actually see and view reports associated with that campaign, meaning how many people have opened the email that you sent, how many have received it, how many emails have bounced, meaning they didn't receive the email for one reason or another. And then you kind of see a list or view or overview of that exact same information right here below this recent campaigns. So this is, I was testing one yesterday and I set it to myself. That's why you see 100% open rate, which is amazing. Industry average in real estate, they're saying is 21%. I would say that for our emails, we do a weekly property list that goes out. Our average open rate, I feel, is somewhere around 50%. And it goes as high as, I've seen as high as 60 or 70% and as low as 10%. I can send everyone information on when the best time to send these types of emails are. For instance, you're going to get a better open rate towards the end of the week, like a Thursday afternoon, than you will on a Monday. Kind of the age-old comment that if you're going to buy a car, you don't want to buy one made on Monday or Friday. People are still waking up. So towards the end of the week, when people are kind of, thinking about the weekend, they tend to stray a little bit from work, so you get a little bit higher open rate. These clicks over here is who has clicked on your on any links included in your email. So if you had a link to your website or you had a link to a new property, this would be where you would see that information, what they've clicked on, this is great. Sorry, I get some noise. If you guys are going to be doing some other stuff, you just mute yourself for me, keep it quiet. That would be very, very nice. You've also got list growth on here, which will, if you use the social media functions, which every email campaign uses, you can actually share your emails via Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, whatever you would like, and this will actually show you if you have new people subscribing to your list. And a lot of these programs like MailChimp and Constant Contact actually offer the ability to put an actual subscription link on your website. So you could build a little subscription form and then take their code. They'll give you the code. You can put it on your website, and it will also show you on here how many people you've had subscribe to your email newsletter. Over here, top 5 will be your top 5 campaigns. So these would be, if you had a Happy Holidays one that got 70%, and you had a Halloween one that had a open rate of 50%, then it would show you that your Happy Holidays one was your #1 open rate. And then Chimp Chatter down here is just updates from MailChimp. So they'll show you if there's new program updates or things that you can do to email campaigns. So that's your dashboard. Pretty, again, self-explanatory. A couple other things you'll see up here is you can create a campaign right off your main screen. It will give you a couple of options over here. I just typically stick with regular old campaign. We could get into the differences between each of these different types, but to be frank, I don't necessarily think they make much of a difference for what we're doing. Now, if you're running email newsletter marketing for a major corporation, I can see why you would want to look into these different versions, but regular old campaign is just fine for what we're doing. So, and then drafts over here are just campaigns that you've been working on, things that you've worked on recently, just kind of a quick button, easy way to get straight to what you're doing. So over here on the left, this will give you your links to where you want to go and edit different things. Campaigns, again, what you're working on for your email newsletters. And campaigns will be, for example, if you're going to send out a Happy Holidays email, that will be your campaign. Happy Holidays is your campaign. And then if you're going to do maybe a July newsletter, it would be your July campaign. That's what they call them. Your templates or your these are your actual emails that you're sending out. So this is where you might want to, or where you will go in and create an actual template of your email, or you'll build the email first, and then you will be able to attach that to a campaign that you're setting up. But the templates is where you can test everything. You can build these emails before you send them out and see what things look like. Lists are your email lists. As this one says, create lists, add subscribers, create sign-up forms, all under here. Reports will take you strictly to your report section to give you a more detailed view of what's happening in your emails. You can do automatic emails, and as it says on here, based on events or subscriber behavior. So, for instance, if you have a new person sign up through your web form on your website, you can set this up to automatically send them an email saying, "Hey, John, thank you for signing up. I appreciate the follow or the interest in my newsletters. Your next newsletter will be coming out, July 1st or whatever it would be." Just give them a little more touch or a little bit more personal contact, some kind of response right away. And then your search is you can search your whole system and see if you're looking for images or you're looking for past campaigns that you've built or past emails. You can use the search function. So now, where I typically start with any of these email campaigns or email newsletter type things is in my lists. This is where I go in and I'm going to actually build my list, my client contact list, or you might even set up an agent contact list where you could email. For instance, Eric Peachy likes to email out new listings that he's got. You could set up a list of new or of agents, real estate agents that you're friends with or that you know in the marketplace, and you could actually set up an email list to send out new listings, or you could send out price reductions, those sorts of things. You'll see under here under clients, this will be, I've got about 66 subscribers under here. Now this is an old list. I haven't purchased this lately, but so I'll show you how to use this real quick. We're going to create a list. And you can see what that says, or do you want to create a list, or do you want to subdivide an existing list with groups? That would be if you maybe had your 8 real estate agents list combined with your client list, you might want to split those out. I'm just going to go ahead and create a brand new list. Now, it's important to name or fill out as much of this detail or as many of these fields as you can. Just give as much information about your list as possible. And I'll show you later in this list creation where it will be very, very pertinent down the road to have filled some of this information out. So we're going to call this client list 2. This will be, as you can see, it gives you kind of self-explanatory information here, but it says this is the address that people will apply to. So I'm going to put in my Realty Ohio email. I want them to see that it's coming from me. Now, if you want to get creative and maybe drew off from the real estate guru or something entertaining to kind of brand yourself, you could do that as well. This one, they want you to remind people how they ended up on your list. So, I can type. What this does is kind of reminds people who you are and why they're receiving your email list. It's always a good thing to help or help people remember why they know you, how they know you, especially if they've been receiving your emails for 6 months or a year. I was actually joking with Amy. I have a lady that's been receiving my property emails for over a year. She will email me every 6 months and say, hey, thank you. You know, I'm still receiving your emails. I'll call her and email her back just to talk to her for a few minutes. But same kind of thing. You just want that personal touch, and that's what this kind of is. It gives you the ability to remind them that you bought a house with me, and you might even put that in here. You're receiving this email because you bought or sold a house with Drew Laughlin, or something to that effect. Down here, the contact list information. This is basically your company or office address. For those of you that may not have an office near you, or a quote-unquote office, you might want to use your home address on this. You might want to use, for instance, if you're in Warren, you might want to use a Canton address, or something that would be close as possible, or even the corporate address if you like. But you might write on here, Realty Ohio Inc. corporate address or something to that effect, so people understand why this address is on here. And then down here at the bottom, you can actually get notifications on your email lists. And it says exactly what these are on here. Your daily summary gives you a summary of your subscribes or unsubscribes. So if you send out an email list today, maybe a new property, you would actually get an email back with basically a daily or a summary of what happened. Who subscribed, who unsubscribed, who forwarded, or who opened your email address you didn't know about. Maybe someone forwarded your email and a new person opened it. You can do one by one on here, where it says you'll actually know one by one as people or subscribe. I don't typically do these two bottom ones because then you start to get a lot of emails, and it tends to be too much for me to handle with everything else I've got going on. So I typically stick with a daily summary, just so I know what happens with the email list. And again, you can always log back in and see what happened with the new subscribers or unsubscribes, that kind of stuff. Now we're going to save it. Now you have a couple ways to add subscribers. You'll see here it gives you two options, import or set up sign-up form. I'm going to import because I've already got a list made. Gives you a bunch of different ways to import. And for any of you that have been looking for a CRM or looking for something to track your customers, these are a bunch of different ways. HighRise is one, Salesforce is another. Rich and I are looking into a couple different CRMs already to try and integrate a mail program. But if you don't have any of those, you're welcome, and this is what I'm going to do right now. I'm actually going to copy and paste from Excel. Or you can import a CSV file, which is basically an Excel file. You can save it as a CSV, or it's a comma-separated type document. So I'm going to click the copy and paste. Go back up here to my list. All right, so we're going to name this first name. This is going to be last name. and this is email. Literally that easy. That's all I had to do to import that list. Now, if you want to rank, maybe you're creating a new client list. Maybe you want to rank these clients based on their level of looking. Maybe you've got an investor right now that is actively looking for property and wants to buy something. You might want to rank him 5. Maybe you've got a buyer that is 6 months, a year out, and you're just putting them on a drip campaign. You might want to rank them at 3. Just another way you kind of track your clients, and so you kind of know what's going on with each one. I'm always a fan of as much information as you can give yourself. It takes away from you having to do the work down the road. So if you can coordinate this with whatever other tracking you're doing, that will probably help you a lot down the road to remember who is what and what they're doing. So, but you'll see the date added on here, the last time I changed their information, and their email address as well. Now, MailChimp offers you the ability to email, I think it's up to 500 people at one time without paying for it. So it's free up until that point. So that's my list. That's client list 11. I'm going to go in here settings really quick and just check a few things.
Show them also how to add one this time.
Oh, okay. Rich wants to show. We'll show you how to add one person at a time. So let's do that as well. Add subscriber. And the reason it asks if this person has given you permission to add them, it's so they don't mark you as spam. As soon as your emails start getting marked as spam, either in Gmail or Yahoo or AOL, whatever you use, it starts to cut down on your ability for your emails to get through the spam filters. For those of you that have used Gmail and the like, their spam filters are really, really good. They're very good at parsing out things that are just ads. So I would make sure that this person knows they're going to be on your email list and look for it. Hopefully with your name at the top, from Drew Laughlin, they'll be able to understand where it's from. But once you go ahead and hit subscribe, this person's automatically on your list. And we're going to go back here to
back to your manage subscriber.
Yeah. So you'll see me down here at the bottom, rank myself really high. I can't do that. I can go here and edit this person if I choose to. So you can go ahead and add more information if you choose to. If you want to track notes in here about that person, conversations, you can even add e-commerce and goals as well. I haven't used a lot of these features. Typically what I'm using these email systems for is just the monthly email campaigns or new and updated listings, that type of stuff. Let's go back in here to settings. I want to show you a few things that you can change that you want to make sure are filled out. Required email footer content is one that I always make sure is filled out. This one being why they're receiving your email, I always make sure is in there. I always make sure the company information is in here. The reason I do that is when it builds your email, and I'll show you in a little bit, it puts what's called merge fields. And for those of you that use like Microsoft Word or something like that, it will just say merge field address or merge field zip code. So it doesn't show you what is going to be in there until your email is basically ready to go out. So I always go into the settings just to make sure that this is correct. Then something else you want to make sure is correct is your own website, whether it, dlaughlin.realestateohio.com or Columbus Agent, which I happen to own. You just want to make sure that all this stuff is filled out so it comes filled out in the email. And for those of you that aren't sure, footer content is what's at the bottom of the email. And I'll show you that here in a few minutes. So All right, that's the easiest way to get started creating a list and putting your clients into an email list. So now I'm going to go over to templates here. I'm going to show you a couple of the templates that are already built, which I emailed everyone this morning. You should have the Happy Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Happy Holidays already. I'll be sending by the end of the week a Happy New Year one, and then I'm going to get started on stuff for next year. For instance, you know, Happy St. Patrick's Day or Happy July 4, those types of things. And then I will also work on building everyone an actual email newsletter that all of you can use. Now, I realize for some of you, I'm going to have to work with you to show you how to edit some of these things to make it kind of easy. So if you guys have questions, you're welcome to ask me that. At the end, when we're done with this, I'll go through questions. Or if you guys want me to actually walk through with you, I will do that as well. So first, I'm going to start with this Happy Halloween. This is one, again, pretty obvious, Happy Halloween. You can attach this to a campaign if you want, if you've already got a Happy Halloween campaign built. But I'm just going to go in ahead. One of the things to show you is preview. You can actually preview your email. So this is what it would look like on the left, is what it will look like in your browser. This is if they're actually on their computer looking at it. And then on the left, or sorry, on the right, is where you actually see what it look like on your phone. Now, I will tell you that this is based on older cell phones, like an iPhone 3 or 4. When I tested this yesterday, the email basically looked the same as it does over here on the left on my phone. Because, like, for instance, the new iPhone 6 or the iPhone 6 Plus is like 6 inches or something. It's a huge screen. So you're basically going to be seeing this exact mock-up on the left. You'll be seeing that on your cell phone. But this will give you a good preview of what exactly it's going to look like. So close out of that. I'm going to go back in here to edit. Now this is telling me that I've already associated this Happy Halloween email with the campaign. Any changes that I make here in this template will actually carry over to the campaign. So the reason that that's important is that if you were making any changes to this, if you don't want to show up in your campaign, that maybe you want to edit a newsletter and you're trying to set it up for next month, if you've already associated this email with a campaign, any changes that you make would show up in the email that you sent out this month. So what I typically do is I'll set up a template for each month or for each different type of email. And you'll see that's why I have a Happy Halloween and a Happy Holidays and a Happy New Year, as I'm setting up different templates that I can go ahead and edit and associate with a campaign. It makes it easier for me to keep track of what's what and how it's going out. So this is basically the email as you see it, or as the client's going to see it. I'll walk you through each step here. We've got page over here on the right. So this is going to be your overall settings, what the background color is, what the text color is. You can change the font if you want to. You can change the size of the font size in here. Now these are defaults. So if you actually are going in here and typing and editing this Happy Halloween section, you can change these things while you're editing. But this is what, over here on the right, is what your different things are going to default to. So when you start typing, it will automatically come out a font size of 34, font family Georgia with a weight of normal versus bold. Here's your text alignment. So if you want to align it to the left or right, that's all there. So that's where you're going to edit all your defaults for your page. This is your header section. Again, more defaults for the header. So everything you're editing, just to make it more obvious, everything you're editing on this right-hand side are the defaults for how this is going to look. You can always change this type of information while you're editing, but these are your defaults. So let me get in here and show you the actual meat of what you're going to be doing. So I want to edit this text, say that you don't like what I've got in here, you want to add more to it or less or change it. Go in here and hit edit. All right, we got it. Okay. So I'm in here editing the Happy Halloween section of this email. Let's say I want to add a couple more of these exclamation points. This is an editor, what we call a WYSIWYG. What it means is what you see is what you get. So whatever you're going to see in this editor is what you're going to see over here on the left and what the client is going to see. So they're going to see this white text. They're going to see this orange text down here and the way it's formatted. So all the formatting that you see, all the so everything that the images that you're seeing in here, these are all. That's a new one.
You're at the box.
Hmm?
You're at the box.
Oh, okay. So all the information that you're seeing here is what the client is going to see. Now, for instance, let's say you want to change this image. If you just go ahead and double click on it, it will take you to the image information. So you can, I don't know why you added with Avery, but you can, this gives you all the ability to, maybe you want to resize the image, you want to crop it. You can add frames to it if you choose to. Let's see if we get you an antique one in here. So now my image is going to have a frame around it. You can change the height and the width of it. To keep proportions, what that will do is if it will keep the image looking the same no matter what size it is. That way, if you maybe make it wider or you want it taller, it's not going to look stretched or compact depending on the size that you make it. This will keep the proportions basically similar no matter how big or small you make the image. If you want to link this to your own website, you can do that, or you want to link it to something else outside of the email, you can do that as well. And then you've got the show image style options down here. What I've used this style options for is this margin. So I don't know if all of you noticed in that email, I'll go back here in a minute, but the image had an actual margin around it so that the text wasn't stuck straight or right up against the image. So if I go in here and edit this margin, which you see I've got 10 pixels on the right and 8 pixels on the bottom, giving me basically a buffer around the image to keep the text looking aligned around that image. So we're just going to do save and insert. And now you should be able, I don't know if you can see it, but it has that that old time looking frame around the image. And you'll see what I'm talking about here. It has a little buffer around the bottom and around the right-hand side. So that's that margin that I was talking about. Makes the text look a little more, just stylized around the image kind of thing. So we're going to hit save and close. One other thing that I went in here and edited was this footer section. And the reason I did that is I wanted my contact info in here with my photo. Now I'm assuming a lot of you, I will have to build this for you, and I can do that. It's not a problem. If those of you that are a little more tech savvy want to try it, you can do that as well. Don't touch these this bottom text. This is all stuff that that is basically embedded with the email, and you can see on there it gives the person the ability to unsubscribe, update their preferences, forward it to a friend, and then the rest of this kind of text, weird jargon stuff down here is basically copyright information. It will actually include your company address in here. So that's why I was telling you before, you want to make sure you edit those settings so that the rest of this kind of HTML, this website gobbledygook kind of is actually built out in such a way that there'll be information there. So, but this information is what my picture and my website and all that kind of stuff was more information I wanted to include. I didn't want to put it up here in the email. I wanted to make it look more form complete on here. So, we'll save and close this. We're going to hit save and exit. That's everything I've wanted to edit on this. Again, this is endless. You guys can do whatever you want with it. I can help you do with whatever you want with it. But right now, we're going to hit save and exit and move on. So I've got my Halloween template edited, built the way I want. So now I'm going to go into campaigns. I'm actually going to build this email campaign that's going to go out. You'll see in here I've already got have a spooky Halloween, but we're going to do a new one. So create campaign up at the top right, regular old campaign. I'm going to send it to my client list 2. I want to send to the entire list. And hit next down here at the bottom. By the way, in here it will give you the ability to preview your email. You can send it to yourself before you email it. That way you can see what it looks like. So we're going to call this I actually a lot of times name the campaign and the email subject the same thing. Again, just for ease of use. They see it's coming from me, they see it's from this email address, and that's how they will reply if they want to. Down here in the tracking, I track the open, so who actually opens email. I track who clicks the email, and then I track who actually does the plain text emails. There are other options in here that you might want to use. For those who might use Google Analytics to track, you can do that as well. But those are the basics that I use. You can actually do an auto post to social media like Facebook, and I'll show you in a minute how to integrate those. And then some more options, convert to video if you choose to. So we're going to hit next. All right, this will give you the ability to build an entirely new template or email if you want to. I'm not going to do that because I've already got some saved templates I want to use. So we're going to select my Happy Halloween one. This is exactly the same information that you can edit as I showed you before. So the footer, this is all your default information. And then you have the ability, maybe you thought of something you want to change, you can go back here and edit if you choose to. But we're going to hit next because I already built all this out. This is a last check that MailChimp gives you just to make sure everything's done. So I've associated with the list. I've got the subject line done. I made sure there's a reply to email in here, so if they want to reply back to me, they can. I've got my tracking set up so that I know how to open the email. I'm sending an HTML email versus a plain text. Again, stick with the HTML. It's going to look the prettiest and easiest to use. And I really don't think there's a difference that you'll need to worry about right now. So there will also be a plain text email generated for you. So I built it in HTML so it looks pretty with the pictures and that layout. MailChimp will automatically build you a plain text one as well. So just let it do that for you. You don't need to worry about it. And then email authentication. This is just a back-end thing MailChimp does to make sure that your email is going to get through. Social cards, I'll show you in a minute. That's how you add Facebook or Twitter, those types of things. But up here at the top right, you've got preview and test. So I'm going to send a test email to myself. So we're going to send a test, and we're going to see what this bad boy looks like. I have to give it a minute. Here we go. So here's my test, Happy Spooky Halloween 2. We're going to make sure that Google will allow me to display the images. And so that's exactly what it looks like in my email. And you'll see down here at the bottom, this is why I made sure we wanted to edit all of the company information so that they know that they're receiving this email because they've done business with me. They know my office address. This gives them add to your address book, gives me the ability as a user to say, well, I want to keep receiving these emails. I'm going to add Drew to my address book so that it doesn't get flagged as spam or it doesn't come into a different box than I thought. And then they've also got the unsubscribe stuff if they want or forward to a friend. But this is exactly how the email will look to a Gmail user. If you've got multiple emails, you want to try that. But I would say if it looks good in Gmail, it's going to look good in Yahoo or AOL. Gmail tends to be the standard at this point. So I know my email looks good. I know all the other things are built. This is where I would hit send. Now I'm going to actually go back and I'm going to associate or show you a different way to send this so you can see the results. I'm going to send it just to myself so you see what happens. All right, so we're going to go back to this Happy Halloween. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, Rich made a good point. I'll show you Have a Spooky Halloween too. So we're going to change my list. I've already set all this stuff up so that it's ready to go. So templates, Happy Halloween. Everything's still set up, so it should be good to go, but I'm going to just double check that. Okay. Then we hit send. This is just to make sure you're going to send it. All right, so we're going to track performance and reports. Again, you have to let the internet kind of catch up. It'll get there. So here's an actual, this is kind of the report that you're going to get from MailChimp that shows you how many emails were sent, list you used, just kind of an overview of what you just did. And here's my email that just came out. So typically you'd have a Spooky Halloween as the subject. It's from me. Display images. And that's exactly what the client will get. So it looks just like I thought it would. Now if they want to reply, you'll notice that it's coming to, now I had Drew Laughlin. I used a different email address in that list, but it would have come to or be replying to the Drew.Laughlin. But this will give the ability to apply to this email and send you a response if they want to. Well, let me show you the reports real quick. Okay. So I had 100%, I had one open, I had one subscriber, I had 100% open rate. See, I had no bounce, no unsubscribes, no clicked. So that if I had sent this to 30 people and maybe I had one bounce or I had one unsubscribe, you'd see that. But it'll give you percentages and it'll show you in here your industry averages. So that's pretty much it for using MailChimp. One of the things, if you happen to be sending stuff across the world, if you have clients in China by chance, you'd see that on here as well. This is pretty much how MailChimp works. That's pretty much the overview of how MailChimp, how you can use MailChimp the easiest way to get your emails out to clients. Alicia and Amy and Rich and myself will be creating some of this content for you so that you can go in and take a Happy Halloween email and just edit the text if you want to or change an image. We're going to make this as simple for you as possible. If any of you want us to actually work with you one-on-one, we can do that as well. If you want us to show you how to do that footer image that I did, so they can see your lovely face, we can do that as well. We'll be more than happy to work with you at any time to get you through to using this as easily as possible. So we will be sending out content again on a couple more days, probably the end of the week. I'll have you a Happy New Year, and then I'll be working on some things for next year in terms of maybe an actual monthly email list or email newsletter. I'll have that for you by the end of the week, so we can start using these email campaigns to market to all of your clients. So
now, as an example, once you set up a template for, let's say you have a new listing and you want to market it to your email list. Once you have that template set up, then it becomes easy to just go in and change the pictures and change the wording. You've already got everything set up. So Drew and I, Amy, Alicia, any of us can work with you one-on-one to help to set up that template. And then once you have it, it's just a matter of going in and editing it and changing it to make your next one. So you get one listing, you do it. You get the next listing, you just change the pictures, change the text, and you can send it again. You don't have to reset up everything all over again.
Yeah. Again, easy use is what we're going for. So we'll build all these for you and help you as much as we can. So if you guys have any special requests, do not hesitate to ask us. I'll be more than happy to build whatever I can for you. And Rich, Amy, and Alicia can do the same. So if you guys have any questions, or actually question time, does anyone have any questions about this? Anything you noticed or thinking about?
Hey, Drew?
Yep.
Can you make the template wider so it covers your entire email, or is that thin down the middle how all of the emails will look?
We can make it as wide or as skinny as we want. And let me just show you what you're talking about, Amy. So if I'm going in here to templates, I'm going to go create a new template again. You can see that there's all kinds of different setups in here. And you can make these as large or as skinny as you want. You can make them, again, fill as much of the screen as you want or as little as you want. Another thing in here to notice about these templates, there's actually themes in here too. So maybe you want to do, there's all kinds of different newsletters that we can actually go in here and pick. Now these are already built, so the design is already done. And that's just where Rich is pointing out that once the design is done, it's really just a matter of editing the text and adding the photos that you want. For instance, this banana one over here, let's preview it. We could make this wider if we choose to, and you don't necessarily have to use Banana Code. We could put Realty Ohio, or we could put my smiling face with my logo. We can edit this any way you want, but the key is that the design is already done. So once that is taken care of, it's just a matter of adding the images.
Can you change the colors, Drew?
Yep. We can change colors, we can change font, we can change the background, we can change literally everything on here. So any other questions or thoughts? One more thing to point out for those of you that might want to be a little more adventurous, there's a code your own in here if you want to. If you just Google email newsletter template or Happy Holidays template, you can get all kinds of already built templates out there in the market, and you can actually just import. You can either paste the code, and I can show you how to do this, but you can paste the code, and a lot of these places will give you that, or you can actually just import the HTML file. So for those of you that want to do something a little different or want to build something your own, we can do that as well. Okay, this whole thing was recorded. We'll have this hopefully up and out to everyone later today. And then if any of you want me to work with you, or Rich or Amy or Alicia will work with you one-on-one to get this stuff built. So have a good afternoon, everybody.